Hey there guys, I've got a couple of really shitty fake Cohibas that were given to me, two of them. One of them's damaged, this one's not, but yeah, if you look at it, the construction, the band, this probably won't focus as much, but I'll put a decent photo if it doesn't come up on the video correctly. I mean, the band is just, it's fucking shocking. It's absolute garbage. I mean, if you look at the quality of the cigar itself, it's not good. The person who gave it to me only picked them up a couple of weeks ago, apparently from a genuine seller in Cuba, and let's be honest, as we all know, unless it actually come from the company that was making it in Cuba, it's a shitty fake. I mean, and this is no exception. I mean, it's not even got a double cap on it that you can see. It's just a single cap that's just absolute garbage. So, I mean, here's the damaged one. As you can see, it's got a little bit hanging off it. So the unwrapping is going to be nice and easy. So what I'm going to do is reposition, cut the crap one up, and for something different, I'm going to smoke the second one. I don't have high hopes for it. I may be pleasantly surprised. I guess we'll find that out as we go. Okay, time to unwrap this sucker. The band is loose to start with. It doesn't even really fit on the cigar. It just slid right off. The actual construction of putting it together, I mean, someone's tried doing some embossing on the back of it. You probably can't see that, unfortunately. I'm on a pretty crappy camera. But I mean, the gold's coming off the front. And I mean, none of the squares even line up. It's just shit. Cut the cap off here. I'm going to go fairly deep just so it'll unravel pretty quickly. It's kind of surprising. The cap on it is not too bad. It's junk though. I mean, it looks like it's going to be all short filler. So that's the reason I'm doing it on the wife's kitchen tray, just to try and catch all the crap I expect that's going to come out of this. So, try and get it undone. It appears to be check out. There we are. I mean, it's really dry. I've had it in the humidor since I got it. The humidor sits around 70% humidity at all times. It's super thin. It's like tissue paper. I mean, it's not got a bad aroma, but it's just super thin, and the veins in it are actually quite thick and very noticeable, not like any other Cubans that I've actually had, genuine Cubans for that matter, or even some of the New World stuff that we're getting now, like with the Camachos or the Blanco cigars. The feel is completely different. Let's see if we can get this to unravel for us. There it goes. Alright, a little bit more. Again, it's very dry. Proper Cuban cigars are a concertina fold. In effect, this looks like it's just going to be a round roll. I don't have high hopes at all for the way this is going. I mean, it's got a huge vein through here. Absolutely messy. There we go. I mean, we're already getting flakes out of it now. This is all just short filler. I don't know what the hell that is, but it's green. That doesn't give me confidence. Oh, it's got a little. Someone's tried putting one concertina into it, but it is garbage. I mean, I haven't completely unrolled it now, and it's. You can just see it. It's just falling out, and it is just short fill. It is just junk. It is stems. There's a lot of stems in this, and this just all falls apart. Look at it. I mean, I'm not even really playing with it too hard with my hands, and it's just it's crumbling into just rubbish. I mean, there's out of I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but that particular vein is solid wood. There's nothing nice about that. There's nothing going to be pleasant about that, and it runs the whole way of the length of the cigar. And it is just, it's not surprising. It really isn't, but it's all very, very fine, very small, very woody, patchy filling. I mean, I'll be honest, the aroma out of it's not bad. I mean, it's not, doesn't have a pungent smell or anything. It's got a bit of an earthy, woody smell to it. I put it almost on the same sort of smell as one of the Swisher Sweets King Edwards, which is not actually a bad cigar. I'll be honest, I actually like the Swisher Sweets as an easy cigar from just want a short smoke, but yeah, it's no real comparison for construction. This is just garbage. I mean, this is just absolute shit. This is basically going to end up in an ashtray. I'll light it on fire for shits and giggles, just to make a bit of potpourri out of it. But yeah, as you can see, it's garbage. I know there's a lot of theories about people, saying that it's still a Cuban cigar and it's got to be better than nothing. Well, I mean, take a look at that. That's, yeah. The next phase is I'm going to take the second one. Yeah, we're going to smoke that. It's I think it's going to be interesting. So I'll see you on the next stage. Just cutting the cap off. It's really dry. It's super dry. As I said earlier, they came from someone who was in Cuba. Came in a very basic box. It was kind of sealed up. They kept 3, they gave me the 2, thinking that they've done me a favour, and sort of, when I once noticed one of them was damaged, I thought, here's an opportunity to, not just pull one apart. We've seen that done before, but, take the chance, as it were, and actually smoke one. I make no promises that I'm going to get through this. I'm going to give it a go. I've got a Jack Daniels with me to sort of help drone out the flavour if it's absolute shite. I mean, we could all be surprised here. I mean, it may smoke really, really well. It may have a great taste, a great texture. It may have a really good draw. But looking at the first one, knowing that they came together, I'm gonna suspect that they came from the same person who made them, or the same company, or whatever the case. I highly doubt that they're actually genuine Cubans, just given the way that the companies seem to work over there. I'd say these are some sort of farm special, or they've been bought in from somewhere else as a super cheap cigar, whack a big tag on it, and charge 10 times the price, if not more. I mean, people that aren't educated, this is what they fall for, unfortunately. But anyway, enough yak. We'll get it going. Straight off the bat, super tight draw. I'm not getting any smoke. It's really, really tight. I'm not getting a lot of flavour straight away. I'm getting a very, very mild, sort of oaky flavour. A little bit of cream on the back end of it. But that, I mean, it's a very short finish. I've got nothing left now. I'm getting no smoke. Literally, I mean, you probably can see it on the video. I'm getting absolutely none out of the drawer. I'm literally drawing air at this point. Incredibly mild. There really is no body to this. I mean, it's a mild, little bit of oak, a little bit of cream to it. There's no spice. There's absolutely no pepper. There's no real depth or body to the flavour of the cigar. It's really weird smoking a cigar and not having anything fill my mouth other than air. There's a little bit of, I mean, honestly, there's a little bit of flavour, but it's so short. Look, I'm going to plough on. I'll get into the first third, see how it goes, go from there, I guess. Hey guys, yeah, we're about first third in. It's not holding an ash at all. It's the moment you get a couple of centimetres down, or like quarter of an inch if you're American, it's falling off. The construction is absolute garbage. The draw hasn't gotten any better. The burn is relatively, consistent. I'm getting a little bit of smoke now on the draw, but I'm getting absolutely no flavour. It's the same very short oakiness. There's no depth to the flavour at all. It's got that sort of feeling that I'm just smoking wood. That this is, as per the other one, it's just a ton of stems, and it possibly explains the incredibly slow burn. It's not a fast burning cigar at all, which is quite surprising. I thought it would be the other way around. I thought this thing was going to go really quickly, so I'm about 25 minutes in. There's not much to tell you because it's absolutely boring. I haven't touched my drink. Normally when I'm with a decent cigar, every third or fourth puff I'll have a bit of a drink just to lubricate my mouth. Absolutely no need for it tonight. It's giving me nothing. It's, as you'll notice, you can probably barely see that it's the lightest amount of smoke I've had out of any cigar, and it's taken 20 odd minutes to get to a point where it's actually giving me smoke on the draw. Prior to that, I don't know what I was, I was just exhaling and seeing nothing, which I found very weird. But I'll give it its credit. It's consistent. It's not changed at all. So look, I'm gonna plough on it. At this point, I honestly didn't know if I was going to go the whole way. I think it's safe to say I'll get this down to a nub with no real concerns, and then I'll probably fire up a real cigar or a decent cigar, and then I'll give you guys a bit of an overview as to how I found the whole experience. But at this point, it's completely underwhelming. If I paid money for this, I'd be sitting here wondering what the hype was all about with Cuban cigars. Knowing what I know now over the last couple of years and having smoked genuine Cubans, there's absolutely no comparison. This has been the most boring, bland, batshit cigar I've ever had. It's just garbage. You'd be embarrassed to give this out if you knew what you're on about. My poor friend obviously didn't, and were quite excited to have genuine Cubans, and thought that I'd never smoked these before. And the moment you look at the packets, you're trying to fake a grin, and you did really well, but yeah, the whole thing's just disappointing. Really disappointing. Hey guys, down to the final third, as it were. Probably a little bit over than that. Really haven't been concentrating too hard on this one. About 50 minutes in. I'm now actually getting smoke. Decent smoke. Same issues with construction. I would like to have shown you a cigar with a little bit of ash on it, but the moment I move to get up and adjust the camera or anything like that, boom, it just falls off. It's the construction. I've never seen anything like it. It is absolute garbage. Don't mind the train noise, unfortunately. The draw has loosened up now that I've got this far in, but it's still not good. It's average. I mean, it's better than it was. I mean, I can't complain at that, but I mean, it's pretty crap. Flavour profile. It's still got nothing. I mean, it's getting a bit warmer now, as you'd naturally expect. That's it. I mean, I just had that puff and I've got nothing left on my tongue. I've got nothing left on my palate. I mean, I can sit here and suck in my mouth all day long and I'm getting nothing other than that sort of oakiness and a little bit more of a burnt taste to it. And I highly suspect that's just more the amount of stems that are in this part of the cigar. Yeah, I'm not going to finish this just because, you know, I've given up an hour nearly and I've got absolutely no return for it. I'm actually going to go inside, grab a decent cigar, light that up, you know, give my palate something to enjoy, and I'll give you my sort of final thoughts on it in a moment. But yeah, everything I expected and less. So I'm back. I got myself a Carano Volt to sort of help my poor palate escape the absolute boredom that was that crap Cohiba. For the hour or so that I put in it, as you can see, I have barely had a drink. It was absolutely flavourless. Thank God I got something decent to smoke now. So much better. But anyway, look, you know, we're all probably expecting the same result from that Cohiba, or, you know, fake Hiba as it were, and it really just, it was garbage. As you saw from the beginning, the construction was terrible. It's just all full of short filler. Mainly what I noticed was full of real thick, heavy stems. I'd go so far with some of them to call them twigs. They were that substantially solid. The flavour over that hour did not change. The only thing that changed was the draw, and it was terrible to begin with. It's the hardest drawing cigar I've ever had. You know, it did get better with time. It got a little bit looser. I suspect that was mainly good luck rather than good management on anyone's behalf, or, you know, just pure luck because of the poor construction. The flavour did not change, as I've said a couple of times. It was just boring. Very, very short. It started off and maintained a sort of an oaky flavour. Towards the end it got more of a sort of a burnt charriness to it. Yes, it to give off a little bit more smoke. I don't know if that was any great benefit or not, given the consistency of the flavour. As I said earlier, I really did think that the burnt addition of flavour was probably for the amount of stems that were in it, and I highly suspect that is the case. You know, we read reviews and we see people doing their own sort of posts about these, you know, fake Cubans. Oh, don't smoke them, they'll make you sick. Look, I don't disagree. I made the decision to do it because I had to, and there was no way I was ever going to smoke them with friends. There's no way I was going to give them away. I took it as an opportunity, one, to dissect one that was damaged, didn't surprise us, and the other option, you know, I thought, what the hell, if I feel unwell or if I feel, you know, it's garbage, I was always going to end it at that moment. Didn't happen because, quite frankly, I got very little out of the cigar. I'm not a big smoker of cigars. I don't smoke tobacco at all, never have, so I would class myself pretty susceptible to the effects of nicotine. And look, on a heavier cigar, I do get the head rush and I do get the nauseated feeling if I don't pace myself or I don't have a big meal. you know, sort of was curious if I was going to get any of those sorts of effects out of a cheap, nasty imitation. I got nothing out of it. I didn't get any of the same sensations or feelings that I get in my mouth or my palate. It was the most boring hour of my life that I've ever put into a cigar. I made, you know, probably an earlier comparison, I think, to the King Edwards from Swisher Sweets. Hands down, I mean, they are a cheap cigar. They're, you know, a cheap half hour when you've got nothing better to do, you know. I like them, I think they're a good cigar. Compared to this, they're a fucking Rolls Royce. That Cohiba is just, I've never had anything like it. Hopefully I never will again. But no, if you're curious as to, you know, you've bought them by mistake, someone's given to them, is it worth smoking? No. Absolutely not. You know, keep it, laugh about it. Don't burn it as a form of incense. I tried that with the remains of the other one, and it smelled god awful. I've done it with other cigars that have broken or whatever the case, or, you know, I've had problems. I've just split them up, popped them in the ashtray, burnt them off. Yeah, just to give a bit of aroma while I'm sitting out in the back deck. That just smelled like just shit. It really was just garbage. I ended up putting it out and banning that whole idea. So, you know, they're not even good for that. Yeah. You know, it's one of those things, you know, you try, you learn, you experience. I've had an experience. Hopefully I'll never have one of these again. And all I can say is, guys, you know, spend your time, your energy. If you are in those sorts of places, you are overseas, you know, be smart. Don't buy fakes, because you're only perpetuating the industry. You know, obviously, you know, we all probably know a little bit more than the average consumer, or people that have never bought them and decided it's a good idea because they seem really, really cheap. But yeah, run a country mile if you can. Well, that's it, guys. I'm going to sit back, relax, enjoy a decent cigar, and I hope you found this sort of informative.